Hey everybody, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. We're recording this on Thursday, September 25th at 8:26 a.m. and it is a special segment that Adriana and I are coming back for. We got going on the morning show, then we took a kind of a long break for the North Township Trustee Show. And we're going to do one more little segment. Part of it is, as Jim Weezer pointed out to me in an email last night, I'll be doing his podcast in a little bit from here. There's just so much going on in the world, I don't know where to start. And let's start here in our own state, if that's all right. And one of those is that there's now been a second region teacher has resigned over a Charlie Kirk social media post. A Valpo teacher resigned after a controversial social media post related to the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk sparked public discourse. A bunch of people came out to the auditorium where they held the school board meeting, many of them speaking in support of, as the Times denotes, a Valparaiso English teacher by the name of Catherine Chahaki, a English VH. She's at the high school. Evidently, she posted shortly after Kirk was killed on her Facebook page an image of Betty Davis that included a quote attributed to the actress, which read, "One should only say good things about the dead. He's dead. Good." And the bunch of people came out to speak in support of her as a longtime Valpo English teacher. And she, what is that sound? Do you hear that? Is there something playing in the background somewhere? Or all of the things? Anyways, maybe it's just me. It's just something from the 1980s still playing in my head and bouncing around, knocking around the zoo. I want to caution all of us in hopes that we will really begin to listen to one another, regardless of our faith, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of the color of our skin, and regardless of those things, so that we will begin to see each other for whoever we are, and that is the school board president. There were people that spoke in favor of Miss Chahaki, and one of the guys was a guy named James Monaco. He said her Chahaki's character, guidance, and ability as an educator were unimpeachable at the time when I took from her, and remain so today. This district's capitulation has robbed our students of a valued educator. Another one said, Andrew Carr, a Valpo resident, said, yes, you can have free speech. That doesn't mean you can simply say anything you want without any consequence. These are quotes I'm taking from the Times. Now, this comes in the time that Todd Rokita, who grew up at St. Thomas More and Munster High School, is the Attorney General of the state of Indiana. Indiana Attorney General has Eyes on Education webpage. The so-called transparency portal established by Rokita is meant for members of the public to submit complaints about inappropriate materials and statements in Indiana schools. Rokita said that his office was actively reviewing social media statements. And additionally, the Attorney General said school superintendents and university administrators had the legal authority to discipline teachers, including firing them for speech deemed callous, crude, and controversial. So also the governor of our state said that the Indiana Department of Education would begin reviewing social media posts made by teachers and school administrators about the killing of Kirk and potentially suspend or revoke their teaching licenses for misconduct. It's 8:30 and Thursday, September 25th. If you're listening at another time, you can't do this. But if you want now, you could call in on this at 219-845-1100. I got a couple more topics. Please hold on the lines, and I'll be right there. I want to just push them out. As we're sitting here speaking, we're looking at a possible shutdown of the federal government. The Democrats are trying to make it sound like it would be the Republicans making it happen. The Republicans are trying to blame it on the Democrats. Either way, whatever happens, the White House is now coming out, and instead of like in the past where we just kind of waited for the politicians to get it going, in this time they're going to just the White House is telling federal agencies to prepare plans for mass firings in the event of a government shutdown. This is an apparent threat by the Trump administration amid a standoff with congressional Democrats over federal funding. The directive represents a sharp break from the government's handling of past shutdown scenarios. They're saying that they're looking to identify programs whose funds will lapse if Congress fails to meet the Sep 30 funding deadline and that have no alternative source of funding. Programs should then be targeted for sweeping reductions in force that could permanently eliminate jobs that are deemed not consistent with President Donald Trump's priorities. Also, I would like to point out that there's new rules on covering the Pentagon if you're the press. Pentagon is changing. This is according to Fox News. The Pentagon is changing its rules on press access, making what legal experts and press advocates call a, quote, unprecedented restriction on journalists covering the nation's military headquarters. George Washington law professor and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley warned the move may be, quote, a bridge too far and potentially, quote, devastating to the Pentagon press corps. There is no precedent for what they're doing here, Turley said Monday on Fox. The policy would require credentialed reporters to sign a pledge agreeing not to publish information unless it has been cleared for release. That would include materials that have already been unclassified. Journalists who refuse could lose their access. What they're basically saying, Turley explained, is that if you publish anything that's not in the press release, is not the official statement of the Pentagon, you could be held responsible under this policy. That is going to create a stranglehold on the free press, and the cost is too great. What does Secretary of War Pete Hegseth defended the change? He said, time and again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad, said Hegseth. So you have the desire for free speech and open speech on one side, and then you have the desire to not make the president look bad on another side. And wherever you stand, I'd love to hear it at 219-845-1100. I think what's happening is too much, and I've told you guys that before, and it is just too much, and I think that's by design. The bewildered masses are a malleable masses, and that means that you can be molded, whether it's by the left or by the right. I don't see much difference in molding, and I just wonder when people are going to get tired of it. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I know you guys, I talk a lot about like just, hey, you guys are going to listen at my pace. We're going to slow it down. We're going to look at issues. And sometimes people call in and I let them go on way too long. And that's totally against the pace policies of corporate media. And then, of course, we have us right now. I'm being patrolled by the FCC, so I'm the owner. I got to kind of watch what I say, I guess. And then at the same time, you could go on to Facebook and you could say whatever the hell you want. And I've pointed out for many years that structure cannot hold. You can't have one that is over-policed and then the other side that has no policing. And I don't know what to tell you. And sometimes I think people listen for some comfort and some sense that we may be able to come up with here on WJOB, but I think we're long past that, in that the chaos of our current times, the violence, and the pace, it is just too fast. I don't know where it's headed, and I'm not really sure anybody does. Let's take some phone calls. 219-845-1100. Hi, how are you?
Good, Jed. You're right.
What
a lot of anger in the world. A lot of anger in the United States. A lot of anger in Indiana, and a lot of anger in Northwest Indiana. So when we have a time that's this tumultuous, and we have assassinations of innocent people, murder. These people were murdered, right? There should be one person to try to unify the country. Somebody should try to unify the country, and that should be the President of the United States. And in my personal opinion, he has no desire to unify the United States. He doesn't care. He made it perfectly clear at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and I know alleged conservatives are going to make excuses for him like they constantly do and say he was just kidding at Charlie Kirk's memorial when he said, "I hate my opponents. I'm not like Charlie. I hate all of my opponents." This is why he makes fun and makes these Little Marco and Sleepy Joe and Lion Hillary and all these childish comments that he makes. So that means 49% of the people in the country that voted for Kamala Harris, which is in the tens of millions, he hates them because they're his opponent because they voted against him. And is that any way for the leader of the most powerful nation on the planet and the free world to act? And it's a question I have for you, and I know you don't like answering questions like that, but you're human, right? And there's nobody else listening but you and I. So that's just one thing. I would just, I didn't vote for him, but I would love to see him stand up at a podium and say enough of this. But I think he lives by the feud. That's his thing. And he's using our country to fulfill all of his retribution. You know why he went after the Panama Canal? Because Panama foreclosed on one of his hotels. Why did he continue to goes after Barack Obama? Because Barack Obama humiliated him at the Correspondents' Dinner. Anyone that has done him wrong, he's using the might of this country. He's using it against ourselves, which the Founding Fathers never wanted to have a standing army that could be used against us, and he has created it by this ice. So, and he hates Trudeau. He hates Canada, too, right? Because Trudeau had a fancy for his wife. So he wants Canada. I still can't figure out why he wants Greenland. I can't figure that one out. That's still a mystery to me why he wants that. Unless he wants to give it to his buddy Putin for strategic needs. So I just don't see it. If the president of the free world is not willing to unify a country, where are we at? Where are we at?
So, do you think that, I understand, I think the president has been very open about seeking revenge on his opponents, but what's the advantage in keeping people divided and hating?
Divide and conquer. If we all came together, right? If we came together, then that pretty much renders the two-party system obsolete. The people take control. The people have the power. And I don't think people realize we do. they have us jumping from one foot to the other and hating our neighbor, right? And hating other callers that call into the show. How can there's absolutely no way we can unify, and whoever tries to unify is demonized or killed. It's one of those crazy things. We are really. I never really thought, and by no means am I, the sky's falling and yell fire in a crowded theater. But we are at a pivotal turning point in our country, and all we can do is wait. And we have the midterm elections coming up, and there's so much voter suppression going on now. And just wait. Is the president going to say 21 Democratic states, I'm going to declare a national emergency, and those 21 Democratic states are not going to be able to vote? It's not out of the realm of possibility, and he does have that power. And it's going to take a handful of very strong patriot Republicans to put a stop to this. And I hate to say it's all on Republicans, but, they got a supermajority, right? No different than the state of Indiana. Wait till, and Governor Holcomb, and I'm all over the place, but Governor Holcomb was a friend to Northwest Indiana. He did a lot from Northwest Indiana, and he was hated by a lot of Republicans that called into the show. I thought he was, I was proud of him, what he did, and how he stretched across the aisle and worked. And Braun now has nothing, he wants nothing to do with us. I just want the Republicans that listen to this show, just wait till SB 1 kicks in. Just wait. You can't blame Joe Biden for that, right? Indiana has we've been a supermajority for 21 years? Just wait till this is so important. And I want to thank Tom Dabberton for just kind of skimming the surface on SB 1. It's going to cripple a lot of municipalities in Northwest Indiana. And is it by design? I don't know. I'm not that big a conspiracy theorist, but I'm really, really concerned, especially about the city that I live in that's already cash-strapped. And, you could dissect that comment. They're cash-strapped for a reason, but it's several reasons. But just looping back, and again, I know it's a difficult, and you don't like answering questions like that because you're the host, but we need someone to stand up, man, and take control of the situation and unify this country. And I just don't see it with President Trump. He's my president. He won fair and square. I just don't see him doing it. He's just way too selfish and self-absorbed for that.
All right. So just to be clear on what you quoted, it says Erica Kirk said, my husband, Charlie, wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. I forgive him because it is what Christ did. The answer to hate is not hate. And President Trump's retort to that when he got the microphone, it says, hey, I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry, Erica. So, there was a pretty stiff line drawn in the sand right there. All right.
At a memorial service. So I thank you. I thank you for repeating that.
All right. I couldn't find a quote exactly, and I just found it. All right. Thank you for the call, Adriana. What do you think about Dave's call? Is there a lot of hate in the world? Do you see it at your age?
Oh, I see it all everywhere. I see it all the time. It's not going to go away. I know that, unless we do something. But he's correct. The president has no intention of unifying the country. I've seen how past presidents that we've had in our country have reacted to the opposing side not agreeing with them. And they all have that ideology of, I know that you may not be on my side, and I want to find that middle ground that we can agree on. I may not agree with you, and you may not agree with me. They have that idea that, yes, I know you're not on my side. I know you don't agree with me. Maybe I can change that, but if I can't, I still hear your voices. I still hear what you need in this country. Opposed to Donald Trump saying he blatantly hates his enemy. We see that every single day, yet it's not going to change. So, and you're supposed to say only good things about the president, because if you don't, hey, you get your free speech taken away. But is that so much so, like, is that a good thing to keep building this country over hate? Yes, we're divided. We see it every day.
219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
We do realize that you got two former Democrat candidates on national television calling this guy Hitler a Nazi. Do you know what Hitler did and what the Nazis did? Just a simple question. I mean, does anybody have any concept of history here? Do you know what those people did?
We've all been acquainted with the Holocaust.
Yeah, and you got the leaders of that party and tons of other left-wing media calling this guy Hitler a fascist, Nazi, dictator, authoritarian, all these just great spicy words. And that's supposed to bring people together? It's the leaders of the party. But I do have one confession to make, if you don't mind. You know how on YouTube, everybody calls it elevator music?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I love it. I love it. And here's why. The bar at the JW Marriott in Clearwater, to the left from the main park.
All right, yeah, I'm thinking of, there's a big hotel to the right of the park, and I have stayed both to the right or left. I probably stayed in that JW Marriott. And why do you find it so relaxing?
Because you just sit there and you're looking at that water and they're playing that music just like you guys do on your YouTube, and you are just like, just one of those moments where you're just totally relaxed. And every time I hear the YouTube music, it reminds me of that, and I just love it.
Do you think people have trouble relaxing right now?
Yes.
Why?
Because everybody's got this phone in their hand, and it's just constant, instant. You don't have to read a newspaper no more. You don't have to stay up till 9 o'clock and see if you could stay up through a half hour of this 9 to 10 o'clock news. You know, it's over. And everything's so instant in life right now. Instant.
So you're coming back to what I talk about a decent amount, is the pace of the modern life is not tenable. Certainly there's issues of hate, there's issues of politics, all sorts of issues. To me, the number one issue is the pace at which we live, and it keeps us agitated at all times.
Yeah, I do break away from it, though. Like when I get off work and I get home, it's like downtime, man. That's it. I rarely even watch TV. If we do watch TV, we'll watch we like old 70s disco YouTube videos, watch some James Brown or something like that, and or some old Soul Train, or just videos,
So I got to tell you, you golf, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think
you know me.
Yeah,
you know
I know
me.
who you are. I bought, for 20 years, if I had $300 extra, they went into buying new equipment or buying, new things. And finally, I was looking at irons. My buddy's like, dude, you bought your irons in 1999. You're losing distance all the time. Like, I used to hit a 8-iron 150, and then now it was a 7, and then sometimes I got to pull a 6 out. And he's like, the reason is that your clubs are dead. And I'm like, well, I'm not spending any money on them. So they took the cost of the irons I was looking. They had a one-day sale from $600 to $300. So I bought a new set of irons for $300. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that. But they're hybrid irons.
So you scratched your one-length irons that you showed me?
No, they're one-length hybrid irons. So I bought these irons, these new irons, and they're one length, and they're steel shafts, and they weren't going any farther than my old graphite shaft ones that were different lengths. So they were cheap. They were like $1.50. They were cheap irons. I just wanted to see if I liked one length irons, right? So I was like, man, I love it that it's all one length. But now I need something that's, a little bit better. And I bought these hybrid irons that all look like woods, even the pitching wedge. And I can't tell you. I think I went from I think everything's like 20% farther. It's graphite shaft, and I can't wait to hit them. I've only done it like I went out with a 7-iron and played JED golf, and it's amazing. It's amazing the way they hit.
One real quick thing about clubs, and I'll let you go. I got a friend, grew up at a country club. His dad worked there and basically got him free golf all the time. He has remember the old Ping Zings? Remember the Ping Zings? They're from about 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what he uses. They're about 30-year-old clubs, and he just stomps on me so bad it's not even funny. So I am to the realization that it ain't the clubs, it's me.
Yes, I get you. I get you on that. All I know is that Billy Baker was right about one thing, that my clubs were done. And he was right, and I can't wait to come out and beat his ass in some golf. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. All right, let's take a couple more phone calls and then call it
I was looking up the golf club that you were talking about, and then I realized that Dick's Sporting Goods and Golf Galaxy is having sales right now. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, my dad probably already got all the emails for golfing.
Really? Because I need a pair of golf shoes.
Yeah, I didn't realize how expensive those were until Christmas came around. We're like, all right, we're getting him a golf club, we're getting him golf shoes, we're getting him golf balls. What are we doing? We got him a Scotty Cameron putter.
Oh, that's triple figures.
But we got it for him, and it was so funny because he was so excited to go golfing the entire time. He loves to golf. If he could do it all year round, he would. And I asked him, I was like, do you go onto the golf course with your friends? And it's like, oh, guys, sorry, my arm's just like so heavy. Like my new putter. It's like he'll brag about it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I do it all the time. It's great.
Well, that was very nice of you to pay attention to what he wants.
Me and my brother, we always go kind of half and half on Christmas presents. And that was one we asked my mom, we're just like, what's he been looking at? 'Cause we didn't know what to get him for Christmas. She's like, he's been looking at this one putter. And me and my brother looked at the price. We're like, all right, we'll save our little pennies. And when we gave it to him, we gave him just a thing of golf balls, like the ones that he liked. And we did it like how, like, if a little kid got a Christmas present, you would like tie what they did for us when we were kids is that you tied a ribbon all the way around to outside the door, and there's like a new bike there, so you didn't see it. So that's what we did to him, because we got the gift box and everything. That gift box, you know what's in it. You know it's a golf club already. We couldn't put that under the tree. So he put the ribbon all the way around to outside, like the door into the porch. But he probably looked at us like, he's like, all right, I love my kids. You guys got me one present. You guys got like 10 over there. But when he realized what it was, he was like, oh my gosh. Like he was like starstruck. But then we're just like, okay, what other ones could we get him? And then we looked at the ones and we're just like, you have expensive taste and we don't got the funds for that right now. I didn't realize how expensive golf stuff was until.
Well, the Scotty Cameron putter, the first one that comes up, and it's on sale right now at Dick's, down from $4.99 to $3.99.
Yeah, see, they're having sales, and I was just like, whoa.
So you could get a Scotty Cameron
Another
for
one, yeah.
$3.99 instead of $4.99.
Start Christmas shopping early.
So that's really a great present.
Mm-hmm.
And
so now we're just like, all right, now we don't know what to do to top it. We're like, not another
there's
one.
not a lot you could top it with.
No.
I'm looking at, I mean, you see our need for equipment all the time. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad ever buying myself anything, including clothes, which I'm wearing the same clothes all the time. And Sam's the same way. But once in a while, you just need a little bit of a treat for yourself. Yeah. And I got these new irons, and I can't wait to hit them later today. Hey, final phone call.
Yeah,
Let's take it.
Two more.
Can we end on a positive note?
Let me think. Cubs are going to the playoffs.
That's a shocking
there you go.
Note.
Positive. That's positive for a lot of people that are Cubs fans. Absolutely, they're being rewarded with playing 162 games and winning more than the other teams, and they're going to go into the playoffs. That's positive for Cubs fans.
You pretty excited about that?
I have not watched a baseball game in 2 or 3 years, and I have great seats. And I went and took some friends the other day as just because we wanted to go. The friend wanted to go. I really have lost interest, to be honest with you. Matters not to me. But for those who enjoy it, I hope the Cubs go as far as you want them to go.
Well, I want them to go a little extra this year, just to honor Tom Kyleman, perhaps the biggest Cubs fan in the region who passed this year. So let's give it for Kyleman. How's that?
The last time that I had a conversation with Tom, about a month before he passed away, he had that nasty Cubs hat that needed to be thrown in the wash, but he specifically didn't wash it for a reason. And he had it on the entire time that he was going through physical rehabilitation, and he was a Cubs fan to the very end. And yeah, wouldn't that be something that as he passed away that they put I don't think this team's strong enough to do so by just watching the sports, but hey, you got to get in and get hot, and they got in, so they got to get hot.
Who you got tomorrow on your show?
So I said let's end on a positive note. Last week you were going to give away a secret, and we are going to have the family of the portrait that was unveiled last week, and they are going to, and I am calling tomorrow's program The American Dream. So if you want to listen tomorrow, the Dave Kuziak Show, which is turned into a podcast, thank you, Adriana, and we will be celebrating the life and times of Branko Koric, who was of Serbian descent that came in and started he is the American Dream. Just like the Dedelows were the American Dream. Just like the Alvarezes are the American Dream. Just like the Kuziaks are the American Dream. So he came in and a half block down from the church that they went to, had a car service and automotive service place. Now the next generation's in charge of several of them. And that is the American Dream. And as many warts as we have, and as much negativity as I hear, this is still the greatest country in the world where some schmucks like you and I, or our previous generations, can come in from other countries and get to the point where we're business owners, community leaders, grandfathers, fathers, all those things. And we're going to celebrate that tomorrow. So Jarko is going to come in and unveil the portrait and talk about the life and times of his father and the lessons that he learned from him.
All right. What time's that?
He'll be in probably around 7:30. But I mean, don't you think that that's important?
Oh, that's very important. I saw
that. I mean, I hear all the time, and I got it. We're divided. We've been divided. We've been divided since the beginning of time. We've been divided since there's a Federalist or Anti-Federalist. So it's just more magnified because we have more media. But at the end of the day, you tell me another time where a guy like Mr. Dedelow, your grandfather, could come in here in this country and start a company out that was as big as it was. Or then you pick up the pieces and started a radio station that's turning into a media conglomerate. Or a schmuck like me can go to work and take a company buyout and start a company where I'm going to go do a 9 o'clock and a 10 o'clock right now and employ 20 people. You think you can do that in every country throughout the world?
Let's leave that as a rhetorical question. It's 9 o'clock. Go get your sales call. Thanks a lot. Dave Kuziak tomorrow, The Kuziak Show. If you want to hear Kuziak as a podcast, tell them where to go, please, Adriana.
You can go to anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple. You can also get them on YouTube as well. And his podcast is basically anytime that he has a guest on, that is what we cut up, and we put that as a podcast. So his entire show's not on there, but anytime that he has a guest, which is almost every show, will be on there as a podcast.
All right, final phone call, then we'll go. Okay. Hey, you're on the air. What's up?
Good morning, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Hey, I got scoop on the Matt Groper. He traded the bicycle in for moped for faster getaway.
All right. Hey, thanks. It's good to hear you. I think.
It's very confusing.
Is Hanson here? You know what? I think.
I don't know. That voice just sounded like a very cheesy, like, pizza commercial for just like a local pizza shop. that's trying to be Italian.
You need to make a phone call to one of the most.
I just see numbers. What is that?
I think I forgot an interview today.
Oh.
And
Well.
you need to call this guy. He's one of the most well-known lobbyists in Indiana. And tell him never to call me again, that it has to go through you. Because I forgot to tell you. And put it on the and it was a big interview, and I forgot.
See, doesn't make me feel any better that I'm like, wait a minute.
Just call the guy right after the show here. And all right, I'll be back in a short minute here with Mastering Local Marketing. Thanks.